I want to thank you all for coming today. What we have just done is presented the official petition, actually copies of the petition for relief in terms of the pardon, executive clemency, or some kind of commutation of sentence for Jamie and Gladys Scott. We just presented that. In addition to that, Mr. Jealous, who is of course the president of NAACP on a national level, is actually presenting to them his own letter asking that these women be pardoned. We also, in addition to that, have presented them with almost 2,000 letters, and actually well in excess of probably 3,000 have been delivered either directly to the governor's office or to us. Okay. So we already have delivered a number of letters from people individually, but today we're giving them almost another 2,000. We are legitimately looking for the governor to be a humane person in this situation and to grant a pardon to these women who have been in jail for 15 days, right?
15 years.
15 years, have been in jail for 15 years and have been sentenced to 2 life sentences. It is a tragedy. It's a hideous event in the history of Mississippi. We are talking about a case when the alleged take in this case is no more than about $11, and we are talking about a second count where somebody's wallet was allegedly stolen. And this is no criminal record that any of these women have, and we who support them firmly believe that they are innocent. In fact, we have a number of affidavits which we are sharing for the first time with the press from people who have said that they were not guilty of the offense and who have gotten statements or heard the witnesses who testified against them at trial state that they weren't guilty and that they only cooperated with the police in trying to convict them because the police put pressure on them.
Right. Thank you. It's great to be here. It's a sad occasion to be back in Jackson, but I'm proud as somebody who spent many years of their life in this state to submit my letter along with several thousand other residents of Mississippi to plead for justice for the Scott sisters. We would hope that Governor Barbour would see in his heart that holding 2 mothers who are accused of a crime in which there was less than, well, put it this way, there was just over $10 according to the court at issue, and no one was hurt. That 2 mothers being sentenced to double life sentences for such a crime is an injustice in itself. We are deeply concerned because one of them, Jamie, is now gravely ill, and we see no reason that after 15 years, more than 5 times what the young men who actually did the crime have spent in prison, that she should not be released and that her sister should not be released as well. I will come back whenever the governor can meet with us. While this is, would be very unusual for the governor, this is a very unusual case. We at the NAACP know of no other case in this country where 2 people are serving such a long sentence for such a small crime. When the court says that it was a sum over $10, we're talking about this could be $11. Nobody was hurt, nobody was killed, and these women, well, there are conflicting accounts that are now firmly contradicted by one of the young men who was convicted. So we hope as the attorney said, that the governor will see in his heart that these 2 mothers deserve to be released before one of them is dead. This is sacred work. Injustice is the greatest form of violence. And the fact that we have 2 mothers behind bars, 15 years serving consecutive life sentences, double life sentences. They are sentenced to die in prison once and then stay there again. They're sentenced to die in prison once and stay there again for a sum that the court says is in excess of $10, and for a crime which the men who actually were involved in the assault served 3 years. There is no one, regardless of where you stand on the spectrum of politics in this country, who can explain how a double death in prison sentence is justified in this case. The fact that the judge in this case is the same judge who let out on bail the accused killers of Cheney, Goodman, and Schwerner should send chills down all of our spines. So I would ask all of us to put politics aside, to open up our hearts and do what God calls on us to do, which is to make sure that justice is tempered with mercy and based on the facts.